Quarantine him for. Okay, I'm going to join you, please. Okay, guys, this is stunning, but wild dogs... Okay, well, let's just say morning to this one. Can't see him, he's sniffing the nose of the car there. There's one right here, just there. Hello. He comes a bit closer. Standing by. Hey, so I've got amazing hyena at the moment. Texan just got them on quarantine again, so maybe if you head for quarantine, then you can take over there and I'll stay with the hyena. Guys, I think that's what we're going to do for now. Just such a nice view of these hyenas. As well, another big good morning for those of you joining us on time. We had a bit of a running start this morning. We were busy with our checks, and Hayden was getting ready. We were getting ready. Brian is on camera this morning with us, and we had a flash across the road, which both of us didn't even register at the first flash. Only at the second flash did we realize they were actually wild dogs, and we had a pack of wild dogs. I didn't even get to count them, but 6, 7, 8 of them coming down the road. They were not chasing something, but they were running, and then the hyenas were around. As we can see now, we found the hyenas, and those wild dogs that covered a great, not distance, but difficult terrain. They've just found them. We've got another vehicle helping us as well. Texan from Juma Lodge, HT is on his way there, so as soon as he can get to the dogs, we'll get you there as well. So it was a very, very exciting start. We just went with it to see what's going on. Now, wild dogs, if you've never been on drive or not on many drives, or even if you've been on many drives, wild dogs we don't see very often. Those wild dogs came running straight through the hyena den area, which is why these guys decided to, hello, beautiful, hello, I love hyenas as well, hello, yeah, this is one of the young ones, that's why it's so curious, right here next to us. I mean, literally he's going to sniff my finger. Hello, guy, hello, right, he's just sniffing the door. Hello. Look at that face. Huh? Yeah. You live, buddy? Ooh. Ooh. That was very special. That was awesome. One of the young ones, you can see that beautiful rich coat still. Now these hyenas, I think, at first I thought they were sort of trying to hunt with the dogs, not with them as in helping, but following so that they can take the food. But then I realized they were actually just chasing the dogs away from the den site. The dogs have moved through an area that we couldn't have followed in a car even if we wanted to at that pace. But as I said, we've got other game drive vehicles helping us as well. We're working as a pack, the same as the dogs and the hyenas. And Texan has found them. HT's on his way there. I'm going to try and get there as well in a bit. So, welcome to Wild Earth, welcome to a beautiful morning in the African bush here. It is a great way to start the day with a surprise like that. And as always, it is my pleasure and my privilege to have you on drive with us. My name is Pieter Pretorius, and we're going to have a stunning morning today. So stick around, enjoy it with us. Who knows what we're going to see today. That is one of maybe the greatest beauty of being live, is you don't know what's going to happen next. This morning certainly showed us that again. See them still very alert, still listening. As I said, my first summary changed to, not hunting with the dogs, but chasing them away. But make no mistake, and this is what this one is listening to now. It's listening in the direction of where those dogs are. If those wild dogs make a kill now, they will hear it. And these hyenas will be there as quick as a flash. Awesome, guys. HT has found the dogs. Enjoy it. This is a real treat to see it. Don't know when it's going to happen next, so have a great time there. I'm going to try and join at some stage, and I know HT is going to be jumping up and down with joy. So have fun. See you in a bit.
Folks, it's a very, very exciting time. Good morning, folks. I'm sorry just to come crashing in like this, but we've got wild dog on the hunt. This is what Safari Live is all about. These wild dog are just running through, quarantine this area here. They're really wild dog have come through here. I just can't quite see where they are. They're running around madly. We're doing U-turns, we're doing reverse turns all the time. Watching the dogs. I'm trying to listen to the Game Drive channel as well, listen to the guides. So bear with us, guys. This is really about just being tactical and watching these animals hunt. They're strategic hunters. I can see one right through there. Andrew, if you can just point the camera to about 11 o'clock, you'll see the animal's head. He's looking, he's absolutely on the hunt. And these guys move at speed, guys, so are we. Now, I've been with wild dog here many times when they've been on the hunt. They move so fast, but at the same time, we stay at a good distance. We don't distract them. Look at that, running right across in front of us here. Right across in front of us, folks. I'm just going to hang here and just see, because I think they're coming across here. If you can see them, Andrew, they're going to come right across here. There they go, right through. I'm going to go cross country here, folks, so be careful. Just hold on a second. I'm just going to sit here. They're coming our way. Engine's still rolling. They're on the move. They're going to be just behind here. Coming through, can you see here? 1, 2 of them. 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, we just came back through this direction before, and there was impala over here. I'm not sure if they can smell that, but if they can, that's what they're going for. There was a couple of impala rams that were rutting over here. They got their eyes open every single second. They've got their senses, finely acute senses, honed, waiting for an opportunity. The most strategic hunter in Africa. Absolutely unbelievable creature. And the times that we've spent with this species on Juma are some of the most memorable experiences I've ever had. They're definitely on the hunt. I'm running parallel to them at the moment. I don't want to go down there and have any impression on them whatsoever on their hunt and change their direction, so we're just going to go parallel with them at the moment. There's another 2 vehicles with us, folks. We can see them from here. We're tracking them at the moment, going at the same speed, which I'd say is about probably 10 kilometers an hour, probably about 6 miles an hour. But they're definitely on the hunt. I'm on a bit more of an elevated position here. I can see if there is any prey species, and I did see 2 impala here before. These guys cover ground really well. They've stopped. One of the most exciting things on the planet, folks, when it comes to being in Africa, these dogs are the absolute Rolls Royce of hunters. You can see just now. They're looking, they fan out. Their strategy, they fan out, they're picking up scent, coming up this way. They're coming right up in front of us. They're going to cross the road in front of us. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right in front of us. I'm just going to sit on the crest of this hill, folks, and let them cross in front of us. What a magnificent creature. Right across in front of us, folks. on the road. Beautiful, beautiful pictures. 5 beautiful adult wild dogs. Absolutely magnificent. On the hunt. They're crisscrossing this area here, looking for anything they possibly can. How beautiful does that look? Folks, I'm not going to turn around and face camera and talk to you. I just want to stay on these dogs. Absolutely stay on these dogs. Now this is exactly, oh, look at that, mate. Look at that. Go in there, Andrew. Nice and tight, mate. Beautiful. Sunshine on those beautiful painted coats of theirs. Stopping every few minutes, listening with those massive ears. You can see how big those ears are, picking up anything they possibly can. Now just down here a bit further, I did see a couple of impala. What a beautiful shot that is. They're off. Now, what they're doing now is they're going down near the lodge. You can hear the plovers, the lapwings vocalizing. Predator in the area. All I'm doing, folks, is giving a bit of a running commentary because we are running with them. We are running with the dogs this morning. This is like an incredible thing to be. My heart races so high when this happens. It's just the most fantastic thing. Okay. We're going to take a little ride down to Gowrie Dam. By the looks of things, that's where they're going. I'm going to take a little journey with you now. It's a bit of cross country, but we're going to go for it. And there's another couple of vehicles with us, folks. Obviously, everyone wants to see wild dog. Everyone wants to see the most strategic hunter in Africa. They move at speed, and they don't stop. It's so frenetic. They can just change. They can just change their mind at any second. So what we might do is, whilst I'm driving down here, is cross to Pete and see what he's up to, and we'll be right back with you.
Well guys, welcome back this side. What an exciting morning. Really has been great. I know Hayden's got a big smile on his face from seeing wild dogs, one of his favorite animals, and also they're just always so exciting to watch. They're very dynamic, move very fast, you never know what's going to happen next. At the same time, we've stayed with these hyenas. There's 6 of them around us now. They were running after the wild dogs again for a bit, and then they slowed down and they've sort of just stopped here. We've got these ones close by. We've got this young one from earlier just sort of sneaking up on us again as well. Just here next to us, having a look, a bit curious. Look at that. This is right next to us, guys, just to give you an idea. Look at that. 2 of them now. Both younger ones, which is why they're so curious. This is amazing. So at the moment these hyenas have just slowed down a bit, well, stopped really, and they're just listening intently. If those dogs make a kill, they will respond instantly. And in that time, this youngster, which is now sniffing my arm, I don't want to move now. If I move now, I'll give it a fright. So it's coming to have a look, just curious, looking at what the vehicle's doing. Oh, this is awesome. Now from relaxed hyenas sort of just passing the time and sniffing a curiosity, they could jump up at any second and go and look at or respond to those wild dogs. I know the guys are trying to keep up with the wild dogs. They are very difficult to keep up with. They can move much faster through the bush than any vehicle can. So there's sort of two stories that are interlinked at the moment. The wild dogs hunting, the hyenas first chasing the dogs away from their den, and then after that way's better maybe. After chasing the dogs away, they've now decided, listen, we're going to stick around and see maybe the wild dogs can provide us with the breakfast this morning. But what a morning. So we're going to stick with the hyenas. Beautiful view for us. Look at that, the intimate social behavior, very, very strong pack animals, the same as wild dogs. But the dogs are hunting at the moment. That's where the action is. You're going to go back to HD, enjoy it. We'll see you in a bit.
Okay, so we've just come down. These beautiful dogs have come down for a drink. I'm going to get you up onto the dam wall now, and I'm going to get a nice shot for Andrew so you can see these dogs have a drink. And then they'll have a quick drink, and then they'll move on. Five of them having a drink, keeping their eyes open. They're all just having a drink here. Now, I haven't really had a chance to introduce myself this morning, folks. My name's Hayden. Welcome to WildSafari Live, and this is what it's all about. You might hear some other voices because we're parked quite close to another vehicle here, but all in all, just to bring you up to speed if you've just joined us, this is an amazing and absolutely frenetic situation we're in here. I just love it. Wild dogs and being in their presence is basically you are running with the pack. You've really got to keep on your toes and be with them as quickly as you can. Now, these dogs have come across from a bordering reserve overnight. We did get pick up on prints yesterday afternoon, but we didn't know where they were. They've come onto Juma now, and they are on the hunt. There's no doubt about it. Their senses are incredibly acute, and they're constantly looking around for any opportunity that presents itself. WildSafari Live is all about you interacting with us as well, so if you've got any questions for us, you can tweet us at #SafariLive, or you can email us at wildearth.tv. Questions at wildearth.tv. Excuse my stumbling at the moment. I'm just really excited, and I've had some experiences here with Wild Dog that I'll never forget. So we are right amongst it this morning, and very, very lucky to be in the presence of these beautiful creatures. They're not very fond of the water. I've seen a hunt here with wild dog and impala, and they certainly won't go in that water. But I think they're probably going to come right past us across this dam wall. So be prepared to get a very, very close up and personal look. They're going to be coming right by my side. We've got a hyena that's also chasing. Hyena's chasing them at the moment, and then the dogs have turned on the hyena. Stand by, mate. Folks, I'm just reversing. Wow, they're attacking the hyena here, folks. Now this is incredible. One hyena against 5 wild dogs, and the hyena. Look down here. They surrounded him. This is a very, very silly place for this hyena to be. This hyena came in looking. Here he comes right across in front of us. Running. Dogs chasing. Right around here. These dogs are at speed. Look at the speed of that dog. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Dogs all around me here, right in front of me. I've got wild dog crossing right in front of me, folks, out of screen. They're coming across the other two, and that hyena is still being pursued by those dogs. Absolutely incredible stuff. Hyena's gone. Wild dogs have made a decision that they're out of there. But I tell you what, I think that hyena got the message. Absolutely stunning. Just amazing. Just amazing. Now, I have a funny feeling that those wild dog are going to come back this way. So I'm going to place ourselves just here. We've got vehicles to the dam. I'm so sorry, guys. I'm stumbling over words at the moment because that was just incredible. And in these situations, you feel like one of the pack. You're riding with them. And what happened then was a hyena came up, and that's quite common to have hyena trailing behind a wild dog or some predator, and hearing all the action. And then, sure enough, the wild dog just interacted and suddenly took on the hyena, and then got a few bites in as well. But that hyena took off, and these wild dog just chased it and chased it and chased it. But you saw the speed of that wild dog. And at the moment, they're just getting there. They're just regrouping, and I've got a funny feeling that they're going to come across this way again, right across our bow. They were heading this direction. At the moment, all they're doing is looking for an opportunity to hunt. There's 5 of them, and 5 individuals. I'm not sure if there's any. Sometimes they will keep some pups back with another adult, and then go and get them once a kill is made. I've seen that happen before here, right in front of our eyes. But the wild dog here, and it could be the alpha male, I'm not sure, but he's taken off up here, and he's back on the road. They're going to come right across out in front of us, folks, so I'm just keeping an eye here. I'm just going to sit here. There's 2 individuals that are right up in front of me, and Andrew's on 3 individuals here. Marianne in Boston. Marianne, welcome, and you've just joined us on one of the most exciting mornings I've had for a long time. Unbelievable to be with 5 wild dogs hunting, and your question, Marianne, is a beautiful, perfectly placed question, and that is, are they the most efficient hunters? And I have to tell you, in one word, a big yes in capital letters. The most efficient predator, land predator, terrestrial predator. I'm just creeping up this hill here, folks, to see where they've gone. Marianne, I will come back to you, I promise. I just want to keep these dogs visual, and I don't want to commit myself to going up this road too far. Oh yeah, I can see them. They're up on this road here ahead of us. And Marianne, to just a little bit more information, they are strategic hunters, the most strategic hunters in Africa when it comes to land mammals. They're just incredible. They're on the move, they communicate with each other so well, and they're off into the bush now. So we are going to follow them, folks. We're just going to watch for a second. I can see them running through ahead of us here. I just want to keep you updated constantly. Right ahead of us here, they're running through the bush, but I don't want to commit to going in there because they could just turn about. Now I'm going to commit because they could easily do a big U-turn. I can see them through the bush there. Okay, so folks, hold on here. I'm going to do a little bit of wild dog surveillance, wild dog tracking here, WildSafari lifestyle, and it is a little bit of following through in the bush. They go at speed, and that's the situation. Like when you're with a leopard, you might be able to follow that leopard in a much more stealthy manner, but these guys move, so I'm just going to try and find. I can still see them right ahead here. Can you see them, Andrew? Just up ahead here, 12 o'clock, man. But these guys move, so I'm just going to try and find. I can still see them right ahead here. Can you see them, Andrew? Just up ahead here, 12 o'clock, man. There they are, right there. So we're on the tail of the last one. Now it's going to get a little bit tricky through here, folks, so bear with me. You see that dog right there, Andrew? Cotton in 12 o'clock, mate. There's another one coming through here. And all I'm doing is helping Andrew find these dogs, because sometimes through the camera lens it's really tricky. Just hold on, Andrew, watch your head, watch the aerial, mate. Still with them, folks. Please know, many of those trees that we're brushing past sound a lot worse than it is. We're just brushing past them. We've got to follow these dogs. We've got to get into this country here, and it is really getting thick. We could lose them at any minute, but if we do, it's just going to get too thick through here. We won't be able to get into that stuff there. I'm going to come. I've just taken a little right-hander here because the country through there is just... We're going to get stuck in there, and I want to stay on them. This is a little bit more open here. If we come around the front, we might get a visual on them again. The one thing you do see when you see wild dog is this magnificent painted dog. These little fleets of colour of the dog rushing past through the vegetation. It's one of the most beautiful scenes. I can see one there. Still trying to get a visual, folks, so please bear with us. You see anything, Andrew? Everything here has got thorns on it too, folks, so it's a little tricky, but you know what? That's what these vehicles are designed to do. They're the most fantastic vehicles. I've just come up into this open area here, and I've come up a little bit ahead of them, I hope, to see if we get a visual on them coming through. It's going to turn off just to see if we can hear them, but they are very, very quiet at the moment because they are on the hunt. Can't see anything at the moment. I'm going to move on a little bit. It's very thick through here. There's a little bit of open area here that I just found, and I'm just trying to... Sometimes you can see them move through in that open area. Come on, we can find these guys. Where are you, boys and girls? Come on, where are you? There they are. Got them. Yes! Oh, my love. I just love these animals so much. Okay. They're slowed down. They're just behind that vegetation there. So Andrew's crashed in there. They're definitely looking for scent. Oh, well. They're going to walk right across in front of us. Picking up scent right now. Smelling, using their acute sense of smell. And when they've picked up a trail, they will move at speed. Here he goes. Back on the hunt, guys. We're going to follow these dogs. This is beautiful. Look at that, Andrew. They've picked up the scent of something, definitely. This is interesting. They're onto something. Definitely onto something here. They've picked up the scent. They moved up onto this termite mound. And they're still looking around here. They've moved on. So folks, what you're doing with us right now on WildSafari Live is you're being one of the pack, really. Still looking for scent. Working as a team, the strategy. Working their way back here. They think that something's around this termite mound. They're coming right back. One individual in front of us here, just coming right back. That's beautiful light, isn't it? Look at that. Those big, fantastic ears. Just looking up with this jackalberry at the moment. Folks, I'm just going to Texan, do you copy? Texan, I'm with those dogs still, mate. I'll keep you updated. They are moving towards Buffelshoek cut line. They've slowed their pace considerably. They're on the scent of something, and I'll keep you updated, mate. So folks, all I did then was kept Texan and a couple of the other guys informed. That's what we do. We look after each other. We make sure that any time that we can share one of these magnificent sightings, we will. And with this vehicle, this beautiful vehicle that I'm in, it's smaller and much more. You can turn this vehicle on a 20-cent piece in the bush, and it gives us the opportunity to get through this really thick country, and some of the other guys' vehicles couldn't get up through here. So I'm going to keep them informed, but they're on the scent of something, and we're just going to stick with them here. It's quite a beautiful thing to just be in the bush with these guys and just watching them display this fantastic behaviour. Very, very complex, but also just they're working as a team, and they're literally just on the scent of something and following. So that's what we're going to do as well. Right, I'm going to have to go around this tree. There's a big tree there, so hold on, Andrew. Sorry, mate. Morning, Jan, in Philadelphia, I think that is. A great question. What is the biggest prey animal that a wild dog would go after? Well, I've seen wild dog hunt zebra, not very often, but young zebra. I've seen them hunt impala. I've seen them hunt all different types of things, but a young zebra foal I saw them take down once. They have a tendency to go for sort of, in this area, particularly a prey species that they do love is impala, and they will take down impala, that beautiful antelope, very, very easily. So they don't take on the really big species, but it depends on how many of them there are too. They will, they're very, very opportunistic, and I've seen them even go for porcupine. So it really just depends on what's available. This is getting quite thick through here. Right, I'm just looking as we're talking, Jan. Hopefully that answered your question, and Yeah, they really do go after lots of different species, but the bigger species, they'll unless there was a really big pack, they'd probably stay away from. Now I'm going to just try and get in through this country here, folks. It's a little bit. Oh, I just got a waft as well, a waft of wild dog. That smell is a really, really sweet smell. This is really difficult country here, guys, so please bear with me. Right. This is a tricky one for us, folks. Really tricky one. Can't go through there. How's my back there, mate? Right, I'm going to have to make a decision here, mate. We're going to have to go around that. We're never going to get through that. Just hold on, mate. There's a couple of termite aardvark holes here. Super thick. Mate, you just watch this aerial as we go through here, buddy. It's going to be a bit of a tricky one. And watch your head, watch your face, watch the camera. You good, buddy? Yeah. Okay, mate. Watch that, watch your camera, watch that aerial. Don't have them visual at the moment, folks. Massive aardvark hole here. Okay, I've lost the visual now. Okay, so I haven't got them visual, guys. Copy. Texan, do you copy? All radios, I am still with the dogs and they are heading towards Buffalo. Can't really give you an estimation of how far, but definitely heading towards Buffalo Cut Line, and I'll keep you updated. So folks, we are still, we've still got them, folks. I'm just trying to negotiate through. Just watch that aerial, mate. Copy that. Watch your face, mate. So folks, just to give you an update, I'm so sorry I'm not speaking a lot here. I'm just looking at these dogs, but just to give you an indicator, I've got the game drive, all the guys wanting to know, just wondering where if I'm still with them. So just communicating with them, and it's really important that Excuse me, I'm losing my voice as well. The comms are kept up, the communication that is. And I have to also just be thinking about where to get through here. So we don't want to lose these dogs. Hold on, mate, just watch your back. I do not want to lose these dogs, and I've got to just negotiate my way through here. Some of this vegetation starts to get quite thick. And it really does become a game of follow, look after the vehicle, look after Andrew. Sorry, it was Andrew first, then the vehicle. Yeah, so there they are, guys, right in front, right next to us. Phew. Okay, I'm just going to turn off for a second. And they've gone static. They're definitely listening. Definitely listening. Let's just sit with them. Watch what they're doing. Texan, do you copy? Ephraim, do you copy? Ephraim, they've gone static. They're now, we're about probably 200 meters from Buffelshoek cut line, I'm imagining, between Mvuburu Road and Gowrie cut line. Okay, copy. Johan, do you copy? Andrew, do you copy? Andrew, I'm still with these dogs. I'm not sure if you copied that last message to Ephraim. Probably about 100 meters from the Buffelshoek cut line in the block between Mvuburu Road and Gowrie cut line. Okay, mate. If I hear you, I'll try and get you in contact, okay? Folks, what we're going to do now is we're in a lovely location here. They've all just sat down. I'm not going to move down in there because I don't want to disturb them. You're here and see what they start to decide to do. Now, I'll just sit with you for a second and then we might see what Pete's up to. But wow, that was exciting stuff. That was amazing to be with them all that time and to see them chase that hyena. Absolutely incredible. If you've just joined us now, folks, we're sitting at the moment. It might look like we're looking at a bit of grass, but just amongst that bit of grass is a pack of 5 wild dog. We've been with them since about 6:30 this morning. They did go cover a lot of ground, and then they came in contact with a hyena that was starting to try and check them out. And then the tables turned and the 5 wild dogs chased the hyena with it was incredible to see right across our bow, and the hyena took flight. One of the dogs, probably the alpha male, chased for a fairly long distance and then came back. So I tell you what, we could replay a little clip now and show you exactly what happened. What we're doing right now is sitting with the wild dogs in the grass, and whilst we're doing that, I'm going to just cut back to a clip that we've got for you to give you a little bit of an action replay of what happened this morning. I'll be right back with you. How amazing was that? How incredible was that? It was just an incredible experience. Again, another wild dog sensation on Juma and Arathusa. You know, down here in the Sabi Sands, this is like paradise when it comes to watching wildlife. These animals are just so habituated and conditioned to us being around. We don't, they just include us as part of the scenery now, and it's just so beautiful to be in their presence. This pack here used to be 7 up until a few weeks ago. I think it was about a week ago. 2 of the animals were killed, and they're called the Investic pack. There's 5 individuals now. They're still a formidable force. I've seen incredible hunts here with Pieter. Pieter and I had one of the most memorable wild dog hunts in my life. It was too incredible to describe just in words, and you can find it on our websites, and definitely on the Nat Geo Wild website. There's a clip of that wild hog hunt. Viewer discretion is advised. I have to tell you, it was quite incredible. But we have seen some wild dog hunts here that I'll never ever forget. And I keep saying it, but folks, it's one of these things that it can take 20 years, 30 years, and you can be looking in the bush for that long. What we saw that day, and even what we saw this morning, people wait a lifetime for. So we're very fortunate to be here, folks. Really, really great stuff.
I wonder if we could back up just a bit.
Just going to back up a little bit for Andrew to see if he can get a better shot. Can you see him, Matt?
Yeah. Kind of difficult, but he's there.
Johan, do you copy? Folks, I'm just communicating with another vehicle, so please excuse me for a second. Just want to communicate with them, let them know where we are. Johan, it's HT here. Just wanted to give you an update, mate. We are in between Mvubu Road and Gowrie Cut Line, about 150 metres off Buffelshoek Cut Line. Okay, mate, I'll keep you updated. They're static at the moment. They've gone down flat, but we'll stick with them and I'll keep you updated, mate. Standing by. Right. Things are a little bit calmer now, folks. Sorry, folks, I'm just communicating on this radio still. HT copy. Okay, stand by. So folks, what one of the guides has asked me to do is just turn the vehicle on and give it a rev. Now please understand that the dogs will be absolutely fine with that. They won't move. They're very, very used to the vehicles. Very, very used to the vehicles, as you can see. But that rev allows... Okay, copy mate, standing by. So the communications that I'm doing right now, just to explain to you, is to let other vehicles know where I am. The vegetation that we're in right now is incredibly thick and very, very difficult to see another vehicle. Obviously we wouldn't get off the vehicle, but that was just to give an indicator to one of the guides where I was. And it was a great example of how conditioned the animals are to the vehicles. It doesn't frighten them in any way, shape or form, and there's no way in the world that I would have done that if I would have thought that it was to the detriment of the dogs. So just to give you a little bit of an explanation of what we did that for. You can only hear my communication, you can't hear the guide's communication, so that's why I'm giving you a pretty sort of thorough explanation of what's going on. And I think it's really important for you to know you're on the vehicle with us this morning, and everything that happens on this vehicle, I want to make sure you know the fine details of that and why we do what we do and how we do it. Now, I also want to explain to you that what you're doing right now is watching wild dog hunts and wild dogs live in the Sabi Sands Game Reserve on Juma, and you know, this is one of the most incredible things, to be able to interact with you and talk to you through questions and comments from you from all over the world. So just to remind you, if you want to send us a tweet at #SafariLive or questions at wildearth.tv, please feel free. We'd love to hear from you, and I'll definitely do my best to answer them. And if I don't know the answer, I'll definitely look it up for you or ask one of the other guides. But it's really fantastic to have you on board this morning. Welcome aboard this morning, Georgianne in Illinois. Great to have you with us, and it's just a beautiful sunny morning here in Sabi Sands. And these wild dogs you've obviously been watching, because it's a great question. Which particular individual would take the lead in the hunt, the alpha female or the alpha male? Well, to tell you the truth, Georgianne, I've seen both take the lead. Excuse me, just depending on what the situation is and where the prey animal is, but most of the time the alpha male will sort of take on the charge, but the alpha female definitely is right up there with him by his side. So I've seen different occasions, different animals. The other thing is, Georgianne and everyone, it's very difficult sometimes if you've just come across a pack like this pack that I haven't ever met before. You are using your intuition, I suppose. You're interpreting which is the alpha male. It is normally the more dominant, and the other ones follow on. But sometimes, you can get variations to that. And something that I also want to just remind everyone is you can read all the books and get all the information, and we talk to lots of scientists, but there's always variations to the rules. That's for sure. But great question, Georgianne, and thank you very much for being with us this morning. So they just prick their ears up then at something. And what will also happen here, everyone, is these dogs are lying flat at the moment. How camouflaged are they? I'll just get Andrew to... Oh yeah, well, that's a really good example right there, Andrew. Very, very hard to see. You just see that ear moving around there, and if an unsuspecting prey animal like an impala was to walk through here, they would take full advantage of that. folks, I think what we might do is, whilst we've got these dogs flat, we might just gather our thoughts and make up a bit of a strategy what we're going to do. And we should cross over to Pete and see what he's up to, because he had some really interesting things happening this morning. But just to say thank you, sorry about the frenetic start this morning. I didn't introduce myself or anything, but welcome to Safari Live. This is what it's all about. It's on the hoof. What you're seeing is what's happening live here in Djuma and Arathusa Game Reserves in Sabi Sand, South Africa. It's absolutely fantastic to have you on board. If you've got any questions, again, hashtag Safari Live. You can tweet us or questions at wildearth.tv. Let's cross over to Pete and see where he's up to. I'll see you just now. Let's cross over to Pete and see where he's up to. I'll see you just now.
Well, guys, fantastic morning so far. We sat with those hyenas for a bit more. There was a bit more activity, but then they started settling down very much like those dogs are doing at the moment. Still nice and cool. So there's good activity, or should still be good activity for the next while. So we decided to move on, see if we can't find something else. Slowly making our way towards Twin Dams, which was yesterday very productive for us. So we're going to go look around. It is still, what's the time now? 7:25 Central African time. The sun's been up for about an hour, and it's that perfect temperature today. So the game drives down a bit. Perfect temperature, not too hot, not too cold, just awesome. Great weather for leopards to still be moving around, lion will still be moving around, general wildlife, all the antelope. We just had a couple of nyala, there's antelope running across the road just before you came to join us here. So we're going to look around, see what else is out there. If those dogs move anything, you know, more than just an ear or a tail, we're going to get back there straight away. And I must say, I wish I was listening to HG a bit with you this morning. I know that he's very passionate about wild dogs specifically, so I'm sure you had a great time with him. And good bit of fun. I just was listening to what was going on, chasing a hyena around the waterhole. I mean, you know, you could come here for weeks every year and never see that. So beautiful morning. At the same time, guys, remember that you're welcome to ask some questions, send some comments. For those of you that have not joined us many times before, you can do so by tweeting hashtag Safari Live, or if you want to send an email, questions@wildearth.tv. Even if it's just to say you really enjoyed the wild dogs, or it was a lekker morning, or enjoyable morning. So this is a word that slips in every now and again. Like the word ingwe for leopard. Lekker is an Afrikaans word that's colloquially used quite widely, meaning great, happy, fantastic. So if it pops in, I'll explain it every time. But a very enjoyable morning. So just if you wanted to say hello, it's always nice to not only have your name, but if we know where you're from, it also sort of puts into perspective where we're all joining each other for the game drive from. So yeah, enjoy the morning with us. As always, a pleasure to have you. We're making our way towards the dams. And as I said, if anything happens with the wild dogs, we'll get you back there ASAP. Important part of finding things. I'm just listening to the game drive channels. Hayden's trying to get the other guys in there. He did a very, very good job of sticking with them, because not only could you see them, but also now other game drives, guys that haven't seen them yet, can come and join them there. If they've been lost, then no one might see them for the rest of the day. So I was just listening how he's getting the guys in, and audio or sound is a very important thing for the animals around here, same for us. Sorry, I'm about to sneeze. I'm trying to... Bless you. What? Bless you. Yeah, thank you, yeah. It's about to happen, but I think it's not going to happen. Point is that, like the hyenas were doing, they were calling each other, guys. We might disappear for a split second. We're just going through under the tree. So as I was saying, the hyenas were using their vocalization to communicate with each other, as were the wild dogs. And Hayden was just talking to one of the vehicles. They're saying that I can hear your vehicle, and then the vehicle switches off, and then you listen for the vehicle, and then you get there so as well. So listening and audio cues or sound cues are very, very important in nature. So animals communicating with each other, or just hearing what's happening with other animals as well. Katrina's just asking if I was nervous. The wild dogs were so close to me. The wild dogs, sorry, those two sort of were a blur for me this morning, the dogs and hyenas, because they were together. If I was nervous when the hyena was so close to me, Katrina, no, not at all, to be honest. And it's not because I'm brave or anything like that. It's just because I understand animal behavior and I understood what's going on there. There was a bit of excitement about the wild dogs, and then as soon as the hyena settled down and they were sort of just listening, that was a youngster. You can compare it to like a teenager. So it was curiosity that brought it to us. It wasn't hungry, it wasn't hunting us, anything like that. It was just sitting there thinking, well, we're waiting for the wild dogs to see what happens. I'm going to go have a look at that vehicle because it's interesting. They see these vehicles a lot as well at the den. So the hyena came over to have a little look. I knew that the hyena was being wary, if you want, or careful. Not afraid, but curious, just sort of carefully curious. And that's also why when it came close, I didn't want to move or make fast movements, because then it would get a fright maybe, and we don't want to frighten it. It wasn't attacking us, it was having a look at us. It was trying to understand us, pretty much like what we do every day with all the animals out here. We go around looking at them and enjoying it. And that hyena was just doing the same thing. So no nervousness. It was beautiful. It doesn't always happen. So it was a very special moment. In fact, I'll remember it as the day and the weeks go on now. That'll be one of the memories that will certainly stick with me as well. The wild dog morphed to Katrina, and I'm sure many of you that are on the drive experienced that maybe for the first time. I love it when people see a hyena in a way that they don't expect to see them. People always have, not always, often have this misconception about hyenas being the sort of bad guys of the bush, the horrible scavengers. And there's so much more to them than that. Firstly, they're very good hunters. They're as good as any other animal out here. I mean, we all live together. But they're actually incredibly sensitive social animals in the way of how they live and operate, how they coexist with the hyenas in their group. So seeing them in a sort of a sensitive, endearing way, like we certainly did there with that youngster, when it's coming up and you look at the face, and it's a face that's as beautiful as a leopard's or a lion's or a beautiful bird or anything, things that we see. And I love that. I can feel it sometimes. If someone is sitting there going, wow, I'm liking a hyena, and I didn't think I would like a hyena, because people often have this misconception about them. So that for me was something very special this morning, just really getting like a sort of the intimate view of a hyena. And I know for many of you, maybe a few of you, if you did experience what I just mentioned, let us know. If you may be expecting the hyena to be different from what you experienced there, it's always nice to have people grow their perceptions or their understandings of wildlife anywhere, and certainly of wildlife in Africa, since that is where we are at the moment. Here we're coming up to, not long now, but a big tree. As always with any big jackalberry, we have to look very carefully in case there's a leopard just sort of having a little lazy relaxation on one of the branches. We're going to go up the hill here. Stunning tree. No leopards? Well, at least not that we can see. We're coming up to the waterhole on the right hand side. That's Twin Dams. Keeping in mind that English is a second language for me, so I apologize if you struggle with the accents every now and again. But Twin Dams is one that always, just somewhere in my mind, just tweaks me a little bit, because the grammar in it is quite funny. It's referred to it as Twin Dams, but it is one dam. The other one was breached a long time ago, just to enable better water flow for the riverbed, which is also very healthy for it. But it is very quiet here this morning. Well, at least it seems very quiet. You never really know if it's very quiet. talking about those hyenas, Velma. Hello, Velma. Velma's joining us from Michigan. Asking if hyenas have a specific or a distinct smell. And the answer is yes, they've got a pretty strong smell. Not as distinct and not as wild dogs. Wild dogs have got a very, very strong smell. And we went in after them this morning. When I mentioned the smell, if you were on the drive already at that stage, Velma, the smell was incredibly powerful, and that was from the wild dogs. You smell the hyenas as well, but it is it's nothing nearly as sort of in your face as the wild dog smell. A wild smell. Wild dogs actually, stink is not something you think, oh, that smells nice. With leopard, for instance, that sort of popcorn butter smell you get, that's quite a pleasant smell, but wild dogs, they just smell like wild dogs. But a great one, you can sometimes follow them with that as well. A guy with a good nose, a good tracker that's got a good sort of all-round awareness. You know what the breeze is doing, where they're running. You can sometimes use that smell to follow them as well. Wild dogs, they just smell like wild dogs. But a great one, you can sometimes follow them with that as well. A guy with a good nose, a good tracker that's got a good sort of all-round awareness. You know what the breeze is doing, where they're running. You can sometimes use that smell to follow them as well. Boundaries now between various areas here. One of the bigger roads. We're going to follow this up Cheetah Cut Line as well, up towards Buffelshoek Dam, and have a look on that side. We might get a bit of signal drop, but as I said yesterday, so you're doing probably one of our trickiest signal spots. But Pieter, and Gene, all the guys put some new gear in the back, so we're better than ever before, and I think we just proved that. Just went straight through the tip. Alright, sit back, relax. Early morning here, late night for you perhaps, where you might be, grab a coffee, something to drink if you want. You can have a little drive, and who knows what's going to happen. That's the beauty of what we're doing out here. Anything can happen. So let's go look around. We can enjoy the drive, and as I said earlier, if anything does happen with the dogs, we will go back to them. But for the moment, they're just sleeping. So we're going to let sleeping dogs lie for now, and get you back very shortly. It's one of my favorite, I've got a lot of favorite roads. Sorry, those of you that have known me for a long time, I've got a lot of favorite many things. I've got a lot of favorite trees, It's like food. You can't just have one favorite food. I mean, there's a lot of different foods that are all great. And I'm fresh hippo track that animals like to use. It's a nice sandy road. It sort of goes in the right direction in terms of Buffelshoek Dam, so a lot of animals, and when I say a lot of animals, I refer to this sort of soft-footed animals that like to walk on roads, hyenas, leopard, lion, that kind of thing. They like using Cheetah Cut Line. So it's the kind of road where I'm always driving with a little bit of a delay. Area to our right now, this open area that last year November, one of the drives, we had those, was the sticks lionesses, I think.
Yeah.
And it wasn't really a hunt, it was more a playful chase, if you want. They chased some giraffe around here, which was quite funny. Lions can hunt giraffe. It's a very big prey, and in Sabi Sands here, we don't often get lions on giraffe carcasses. It's more often on buffalo, but that's also such big animals and lions when they challenge each other, so to speak. Please feel free to ask questions. I love chatting, but I also don't want to just chat for the sake of keeping your ears busy. Enjoy the view. We've got to talk about something. Let us know. Hashtag Safari Live if you want to tweet it. We can chat about it. guys, a little bit of chatting going on Twitter is about those hyenas, and the group of hyenas we saw this morning is the group at the den. So it's a group of hyenas we've been following now since last year. I think that youngster was killed. I named one last year, the young one that was at the den, so it sort of became a little like a small star for us, because we could often go to the den, and even if the pack wasn't there, we'll see steenbok. Let's have a look at this little guy. It's not an antelope we get to see all that often. It's the smallest antelope you get in this part of the world. You get a few. Quick little thing. Can be forgiven for mistaking it for a rabbit sometimes, or a hare. Movement back. Steenbok are monogamous, so they form male and female pairs. You get to see them together most of the time. The other one is. Yeah, the movement I saw wasn't another steenbok, unless it's the biggest steenbok in the history of steenboks. It was a kudu. There are two youngsters on the left. There's a female coming out on the right hand side. Kudu, one of the larger antelopes in this area, or one of the largest antelopes in general. And just while we're watching these guys, just to finish off quickly, that young hyena I was mentioning and that you guys were chatting about, called it Ndapandula, which is the nickname of my daughter back home, which in Oshivambo means to be grateful or to be thankful. And we were grateful for that young hyena at the time, because she gave us something to look at, and it's really cool to see as well. But I believe that she might have been killed along the way by, I forgot now, I think Bren mentioned, I think it was by a leopard. But these animals go on and the clans go on. That's the great thing with social animals, that the family survives. Guys, and we often mention it, it's not always that you get to see it. These antelope are kudu, which is spelled K-U-D-U, kudu. They're browsers, so they eat leaves. You will sometimes see them eating down in the grass, but it's normally because there's then maybe a small plant, a leafy plant that they like to eat. But mainly they like to eat all kinds of leaves, but especially the acacia leaves, the sweeter leaves. Big ears, I often mention that, very big ears, great hearing. Because they browsers, in other words, because they eat leaves, they tend to be in more thick areas. If you think of some kudus, they can use their eyesight. They've got great eyesight, but they can't always rely on it as heavily as, let's say, a zebra or a wildebeest would. So they've got very good hearing. She's listening to something now, actually. You can just see the whole posture has changed from eating, suddenly very alert, neck upright, ears focused. Doesn't seem alarmed, but certainly seems very aware. Keep in mind, it is still. So the possibility for other things to be moving around for the kudu as well. She knows that. She does this every day of her life. She knows that first hour or so is great for her, because she's been sleeping during the night, so it's time to eat, but it is also time to be sort of extra alert, be on full awareness to your surroundings. That's why she's listening, hear a little twig snap somewhere. No. Don't want to go closer now because we might interfere a bit, but she is paying attention. No, I don't think it was anything too major. You can see the ears are now listening different directions again, sort of back to general awareness. Always nice to just stop a little bit as well and just do sort of what she's doing now. Just slow down and just enjoy it. Too often people get so sort of busy with looking for things that they forget sometimes just to enjoy being there as well. Having said that, the wild dogs are not moving yet, but it looks like they might be. So if there's any change, we're going to jump over to HT. So if you're a wild dog fan, if you haven't seen them yet, you will see them again pretty soon if something happens. As we're looking at, this is all females. I saw a couple of them coming past the right hand side. If they were, they're beautiful antelope, long spiral horns, and also have the long volunteers and part of the WildEarth team, in the sense that they help to control those cameras for us all around the world. We've got people that dedicate and help in such a wonderful way. So thank you to all of you. And it's the heaviest of all the antelope horns. I guess it depends how specific you're going to be about what's an antelope or not, but I would say probably the kudu. If you were to go to the ungulates, in other words the hooved animals, then buffalo horns, a big buffalo bull would have the heaviest horns. And I think after that would be kudu, more so than eland. Eland's got very, very heavy horns as well. Gemsbok, also long horns, but a big kudu bull can have a heavy set of horns. Helps to break the shape a little bit. You can see just standing still like that, half in sunlight. I mean, she's silhouetted slightly even, but still, if they stand still, they just blend in so well. And those stripes help to just break the shape or the outline of the body. A nice little peaceful stop here. We're going to move along slowly up towards Buffelshoek Dam. And as I said, stick around, because the wild dogs, they might go hunting again, they might just stay there the rest of the day, but at some stage or another, even if they are just sort of taking a rest, normally at some stage or another one gets up and goes and socializes with one or grooms one a little bit. So they're taking a rest now from all the activity. Earlier chasing hyenas, being chased by hyenas. I mean, they sort of took turns at each other for a while. And they're just taking a bit of a rest. But after a bit of a rest, there might be some interaction or some play. So we will definitely go back to HT, if not soon, at least in the next short while, and have a look at them again. We're going to look along. If something happens, we'll let you know. But for now, HT is sitting with one of the rarest animals in the world to see. Guys, keep in mind, there's only a few thousand wild dogs left in the world. They are truly endangered. So just that, the fact that we actually sit with, have fun with HT, and I'll see you back in a bit.
Well, welcome back, folks. We've still been sitting here with these 5 wild dog. They've gone flat. What we mean by that is that they've laid down, and they're just lying in this grass just over here. They may pop there. They need to have a little bit of a break in this part of the day. If an opportunity arose, they may they may take that. I'm probably sure they would take that. But I just wanted to recap a little bit of what we saw this morning. Incredible scenes of the wild dogs hunting on that open. Just turn my game channel down because it's a bit hard to hear talk at the same time. And they were hunting in that beautiful light, like really quite frenetic, looking and listening and trying to pick up scent. And then they came down to that water point where they had a drink, and then that hyena said, right, we're going to chase you. And they had a big go at him. We didn't see the actual fight in the scrub, but then we saw them come up and chase really fast, top speed. I mean, the top speed of a wild dog is around sort of 40 miles an hour, I think it's about just over 6. Go at him. We didn't see the actual fight in the scrub, but then we saw them come up and chase really fast, top speed. I mean, the top speed of a wild dog is around sort of 40 miles an hour, I think it's about just over 6. Pace than most antelope can run, so they basically just continually go over an endurance period and tire that animal out. They can also accelerate at speed like you did see this morning, but generally speaking they will do that. And you know what, one of the things I find about wild dogs, I love them so much. It's a testament to how good these animals are. If they needed camouflage, as one of their main sort of hunting techniques, they wouldn't probably be, or I don't know, it's one of the theories I have. I think they'd probably be just kind of a testament in my world of how good they are, how efficient, how effective they are, and how cooperative they are when it comes to hunting. Good they are, how efficient, how effective they are, and how cooperative they are when it comes to hunting. It was a really beautiful, exciting start to the day. And as you can hear, I'm losing my voice, which some of my friends would probably say is a good thing. But for what we do on Safari Live, I need it as much as I possibly can to communicate with you. So bear with me if I'm sounding a bit husky this morning. It's just definitely... Just see the ears poking up just here now. I'll just zoom in with Andrew here for a second. Good morning, Lois from Wisconsin. Great to have you with us this morning, and welcome to Wild Safari Live. It's great to have you on board. And you've got a good question, and a lot of people have probably been asking that as well. Why didn't the 5 wild dog take down that hyena? Well, if push came to shove, they may. I think there has definitely been situations where risk of injury to the dogs there. They're so smart. I suppose why risk injury where you can go off and hunt an antelope quite easily? I think it was more of a dominance thing and to push that animal away and give him a really good indication with its presence. I don't know if it was a male. Dogs there. They're so smart. I suppose why risk injury where you can go off and hunt an antelope quite easily? I think it was more of a dominance thing and to push that animal away and give him a really good indication with its presence. I don't know if it was a male or a female because it was just happening so fast. And as everyone probably knows, it's very difficult to tell the difference between just by looking at a male and a female hyena. But back to your point, is they would have probably of injury. Give it a really good warning, give it a bit of a tussle thing and to push that animal away and give him a really good indication with its presence. I don't know if it was a male or a female because it was just happening so fast. And as everyone probably knows, it's very difficult to tell the difference between just by looking at a male and a female hyena. But back to your point, is they would have probably the discussion why it shouldn't have been there, and they have wind plays an incredible situation going on, and the situation presents. Smell. It smells a little bit like, I don't know if you've been into a dog kennel or been into a kennel situation, not actually the kennel that the animal lives in, but a kennel that houses loads of... The nice thing about this also, folks, is sitting with these animals, you get to see natural behaviours coming to us, as opposed to we spring just like turning up on the location. You start to feel very comfortable with it, to really have a good look at what's going on. This is potentially the alpha male. Sorry, sorry, I couldn't see through the grass there. That's a female. I do apologise. You just don't know. It's very difficult to see, particularly when they're younger. If the grass is long, it's a little bit tricky sometimes. But that could be alpha female, actually. I touched on it before on the question from somebody that said, who is the leader of the hunt? It is predominantly the male or the alpha female. The alpha male, but that just depends on the terrain and so many different contributing factors. Somebody that said, who is the leader of the hunt? It is predominantly the male or the alpha female. The alpha male, but that just depends on the terrain and so many different contributing factors. Ohio, great to have you with us, and thanks for your question about whether they'll stay at a den site for a long time or whether they move around. It's another one of those answers, Andy, that I sort of have to say there's variables involved, and quite a volatile existence being a predator, and you have to keep your wits about you. You're very, very careful, so they could be pushed out by hyena, or if there was the pack of hyena, or they'll generally stay around. Clan member, and then they will bring regurgitation of the pup, food for the pups, which is quite incredible to watch, and that's another whole story. But yeah, that's what they'll normally do. Huge variables, but that's what they'll probably do. Now, if that's okay, but it's just so fantastic, the light on these animals. I'm just going to take a few photographs and see if we can get it. Beautiful, beautiful animals. So really what I like to do. The temperature is rising slowly. It's probably just touching 20 now, 20 degrees. I have to convert that for you into Celsius. That's a little bit. It's still got a cool breeze blowing. We can definitely smell some of the grass smell that you get very obviously in the mornings and in the afternoons when the air's a bit more moist. Absolutely beautiful blue sky at the moment. Very obviously in the mornings and in the afternoons when the air's a bit more moist. Absolutely beautiful blue sky at the moment. The vegetation's shrub-like trees, and then we've got a couple of the bigger trees like and it's just a beautiful location, very peaceful, and we're in the presence of one of the arguably, no, it's not even arguably, they are the most strategic hunters in Africa. Just a note there, it doesn't look like it right now. They're flat. You will get these, the dogs will be lifting their heads up and down often, and this is a real look. They're watching also for be easily attacked or fatally. Wounded by the. We've got a question from Peggy. Thank you for being on board. Excuse me, please. It's a combination thing, Peggy. And when you think about it, when humans come along with domesticated animals that are nowhere near as aware or able to escape predators, the wild dogs used to see that as basically a new food source. So they would take farmers' stock, which obviously ends up in a human-animal conflict. Unfortunately, eradicating wild dog from certain areas. Now, if you role play that, Peggy, and everyone listening, I have to always tell you or explain to you and share with you as opposed to tell, but the experiences that I've had where I've worked my heart was racing. I just did not want to lose these dogs, and we found them again. The temperature got to a point where they decided it was time just to go flat, and what we mean when we say they go flat is that they wanted to just get out of the sun and get out of the heat. So that's exactly where we're at now. They're finding new shady spots, and they'll probably stay here and around this vicinity until it gets cooler. And the only way that they wouldn't, well, not the only way, but one of the ways that would that potentially make them move is if a prey animal came onto them and presented the opportunity to them. So that's where we're standing now, folks. And there's a beautiful, if you just come down a little bit now, mate, to the right, you got this individual. I do apologise, Andrew, to just make you as you zoom in there, but we've got this individual just walking off, and you can see looking for better shade under there with one of his pack members. So that's where we're at, folks, and it's pretty special. It was an amazing morning. Folks, I think I might just quickly recap over that again, because I think we had a bit of a sound issue, and I do apologise about that. You know, just occasionally we do have these little glitches. We are out in the middle of Africa, broadcasting from a vehicle that's sending a signal to a repeater, to a satellite, to London, and then to the United States, and all over the place. So do apologise, but occasionally these little glitches crop up. So just in a nutshell, we had a really beautiful encounter with the wild dog this morning. We came on to quarantine with them. The area is called quarantine. The light was beautiful. I remember one time Andrew had the camera on the dogs, and I was looking on a monitor, and I was just tracking along at the same speed at them. They were trotting along at about I don't know, about 8 miles an hour, just over 10 kilometres an hour, and it was fantastic. It looked really beautiful. And then we followed them down to the dam where they had the encounter with the hyena, and a bit of an altercation there. Put the hyena in his place, and he took off and then carried on hunting. We got to a point where we are right now, where it's just getting too warm for them, and they've gone looking for shade. So we're in the presence of five hyena. 5 wild dog, and those 5 wild dog are known as the Investec pack. They used to be 7 up until I think it was about a week ago. A couple of them were killed, and we now have 5. But these dogs the average, we had a great question before, if you weren't with us and you've just joined us, we had a great question about what's the average pack size. It's about sort of 7 to 9, 10 in this part of Africa. But in Kruger there has been amazing sightings, as I said, of up to 30. And I mean, I do recall there was a wonderful scientist, I just can't remember his name, I met in Kruger probably 20 years ago. Oh goodness, I might have to go back in my mind to remember his name, but he was a wonderful man that took us to see some wild dogs, and he's told us stories of seeing up to 60. So I mean, that's just an incredible amount. I think those recordings would be very rare, but he had been working there and dedicating his life to wild dog. So it's incredible. It's not uncommon to see packs of 20, but right in the area we are, 7 to 10 animals is quite common, and probably an average number. So I'm just going to reposition ourselves and try and get a little bit better a shot for Andrew, because it's a bit tricky for him. He's got lots of vegetation in front of him. And I'll just go around the back and see if we can get these 2 dogs over on the left, Andrew. Folks, we do this often. The dogs do not get disturbed, and I want you to know that the dogs are always fine. We wouldn't be doing this if it did disturb the dogs. They might put their head up, but that'll be about it. And I'll just gingerly go in here and try and get Andrew a shot of the dogs. At least you can see their tails flick and things like that. do apologise. You can probably see them just there. Welcome aboard, Yvonne. It's great to have you on board from New Jersey, another place I've been to America in the United States, and a fantastic place it is. Yvonne, you've asked a question that we get asked many times, and it's a really, really good question because it sort of allows a lot of people to understand why we do what we do. I'm just going to see if this dog repositions himself, or I'm going to, just so you don't have my hat in the way. He's just moved down. You might be able to smell something, actually. I'll just move my head out of the way. That's probably the easiest thing for Andrew. So Yvonne, you're asking, don't the vehicles crashing through the bush affect the dog's hunting ability, or any predator for that matter? The answer to it is no, Yvonne, because we've been doing this for so long, and these animals are so habituated, and we've been on them with so many successful hunts while we've been with them, and some not successful. We know that they've got very acute senses. They'll be relying on their sense of smell as much as their sense of hearing as well, and everything combined. I'm just going to try and get forward for you, mate. Sorry, Yvonne, I'm just talking to Andrew, and just let me get a better picture for you here. But Yvonne, it's a really, really super question that you ask, and it's obvious that you care about animal welfare like we all do. We have a very, very strict... how's that for you, mate? Just talking to Andrew, Yvonne, I do apologise. It's just a bit tricky where we are. Okay, I'll stay where I am. Yvonne, apologies about that. And you obviously care hugely about animal welfare, as all of us do. We wouldn't be doing this job if we didn't. There's this great word, and I did touch on it yesterday, but just a little bit more. Habituation is a word that's used in wildlife viewing and tourism hugely, and it basically means that you condition the animals to understand that we are not a threat. Now, I know you're not talking about threat. You're talking about us imposing or impinging the animal's ability to hunt. And I just want to reiterate, but we do have so many successful hunts with these animals that we stay a safe distance, or a respectful distance as well. The vehicles, particularly the vehicle we're in, has an engine in it that is a very, very quiet engine, and the animals can normally, because of the distance we are away, they might pick up an alarm call of an animal and a prey species very, very easily. So, but the thing I also just want to touch on, you talked about the sort of sound of us crashing through. It does sound a lot more intense on these microphones that we have on the vehicles and the cameras than it actually is, and I really want to push that home to everyone. It sounds like we're taking the paint off and scratching the trees up and down the sides of the vehicles. It's not that bad exactly where we are, but the microphones have a tendency to magnify that sound dramatically. So hopefully, Yvonne, we've put your mind at ease there, and understand that animal welfare is, to all of us, incredibly important on an individual basis. To me, there is no way on the planet that I would ever try and change an animal's behaviour, or affect an animal's behaviour by being in its presence. So I hope you understand that. It's a very, very heartfelt comment from me, and I know all the other people I work with and all the guides here in Sabi Sands and Kruger are the same. Animals come first. We get in as fast as we can, or the best we can, and then we respect morally and ethically how we conduct ourselves. But thank you very, very much for the question, Yvonne. Really great one, and I'm sure a lot of people think the same thing. Just trying to watch to see what individuals are where. There's one that I think right in your vision that you just had. There's one lying down. There's another one in a tree just on a sorry, underneath a tree, not in a tree. Underneath a tree next to that. There's a couple more over to the right, so they're very hard to see at the moment, folks, but I suppose it's like, you know, we're in the presence of them. We will probably cross back to Pete sometime very shortly, but I just wanted to also elaborate a little bit more on the reason why the number has changed in this pack. This wild dog pack, as I said before, if you've just joined us, used to be 7 but is now 5. Now, they met up with another pack which doesn't end up in sort of happy days all the time. They normally will have a bit of conflict, and one will either try and get out of the situation, or depending on numbers, but if they're reasonably matched, they might take on each other, and that's exactly what happened with a pack called the half-tail pack. And unfortunately, that other pack killed one of the dogs in this Investec pack, and the guides actually did see that occur. And I probably should have explained this a bit more earlier, but the other one was injured. We think, we're just assuming it was injured as well, because there was a couple of really serious battles, and from what I've been told, and we think that the other individual died from wounds, fatally wounded by the other pack. So these situations occur. It's survival of the fittest, and territories, wide-ranging territories that do overlap, and animals that traverse different very, very loose territories will come in contact with each other, and those sorts of altercations occur. So unfortunately, that's what did happen, but that's life, and that's raw, and it's real, and that's what Wild Safari Live is about. We don't gloss over the reality. It's definitely about being out here, and you are seeing it happen live. And it's not always pretty, and it's very sometimes, you know, we advise viewer discretion, but we try and deal with it in a way that's delicate and respectful. But it is the wild, and it's raw, and it's real, and we're really, really lucky to be here. We've just got them lying down, and they pop their heads up now and again. That's very, very characteristic of wild dogs, and lion as well. You'll see them do it. They'll pop their head up, they hear a sound, or they're used to our voices. It's not that, they're just hearing. They're either looking for a potential opportunity or looking out for predators as well. So they've always got to keep their wits about them, even though they look like they're sleeping. They will be very, very alert, and you can tell those beautiful big ears give them a great ability to hear everything that's going around. The vegetation here, folks, is very, very thick, so it's very difficult to access. I just brought one of the other vehicles in, and they took about 40 minutes to find where we were. So it is a very, very tricky place to get in and out of, and I think we're probably just going to sit tight for the minute, and we'll see what happens. Anna Marie, welcome aboard, and thanks for your tweet. It's great to have you with us this morning on WildSafari Live, and it's just been an incredible morning. And I do often give these distances, but it's great to have you, everyone out there, and thank you, Anna Marie, for doing this, reminding me to explain how far I am away from the dogs, because sometimes through the camera it's a little bit difficult to gauge how far we are away. So thanks, Anna Marie. It's really a great question. I'm about, I'd say 10 metres, about 30 feet from the individual that Andrew, has in the shot at the moment. Very difficult to see that animal. It's just next to that tree and pops his head up now and again. I'm about 30 feet, 10 metres away from him. This morning, they walked right down the edge of my vehicle, completely unperturbed by us, focused on what they were doing, right in front of the vehicle as well. So they will approach the vehicle in a situation like that, but this is a comfortable distance for them and for us, and I would never encroach on that and try and get closer, because all you'll do is disturb them, make them get up and move to another tree and get shade, and that's not what we're here for. So this is a really perfect distance, it feels to me, and you just get this intuitive feeling about it. So about 10 metres, about 30 feet. So thank you so much for your question, and great to have you on board. Excuse me. I do apologise about my coughing and spluttering, and Andrew and I this morning. It's woken up with a bit of a husky voice this morning. Really great question from Chris in Yosemite. Wow, Yosemite, what a place, Chris. I would love to go to, and hopefully one day I'll be able to do that. Chris, great to sort of keep this on a international, and I've always had this term, global local, and I'll talk more about that after I answer your question. But Chris, you're asking whether we have the equivalent in Australia, and we certainly do. We've got an animal called a dingo, which is spelled D-I-N-G-O. It's about the same size as a wild dog, very similar in its behaviour and its hunting strategies and things, very successful. Our largest canid, or probably our largest terrestrial predator, actually. Obviously, saltwater crocodiles are our biggest predator in Australia, but we have a dingo, and they're a beautiful looking dog. There's a couple of different varieties of them, and I say varieties, more like eco-types. You'll get a sort of a more desert adapted dingo that's a lot leaner with a very, very short coat, and you get more of a mountain dingo as well that spends time in the colder areas. Even though everyone thinks Australia is very, very hot all year round, it's not. It gets down to very, very cold temperatures, and below freezing in the Alps, well, what we call Alps anyway, and then in the desert as well. As you know, deserts get very, very cold. So but the mountain dingoes have got a much thicker coat, and they're beautiful looking dogs, absolutely fantastic. If you go back from their origins, there's thoughts that they did come across potentially from New Guinea many thousands of years ago, with people, who knows how the original origination of them. But there is a dog that that occurs in New Guinea called the New Guinea wild dog. It does look a little bit similar, but who knows? And I'm sure if you looked up after we finished WildSafari Live online, you'll be able to learn a bit more about dingoes. But great question, and thank you very, very much for asking that. So my little point about global local is it's here we are sitting in Djuma in Sabi Sands in South Africa. It's great to remember that not only is WildSafari Live a global program that we're all watching, we can take those questions internationally as well and bring it back down to exactly where we are right now. So I think that's one of the most fantastic things, the interaction that we have with you, and as I always say, we wouldn't be here without you guys. So thanks so much for being with us today. I think it's probably a good time. These dogs are really flat now, and we're just looking at grass. It can be great for a bit while they pop their heads up and whatnot, but if they just go down, we're just looking at grass. And I want to make sure we find out what Pete's up to, so why don't we do that right now? Let's cross to Pete, and we'll see you just now.
Well, Warthog back with us this side. Sorry, welcome back with us this side. We're looking at some warthogs. And warthogs in the Sabi Sands, in the area that we're in, they can sometimes be a little bit nervous, just because they are at the top of the menu for leopard, lion, even wild dog and hyena sometimes. So it's great to see them like this. This specific little group we see quite often. We're on an area here called Sandy Patch, sort of halfway towards Waitela Lodge. And we're quite happy to see them, nice and relaxed. This is an adult female, the one on the right-hand side. And then the one to the left of her would be probably a offspring from last year that's still with her, a young male. And then the one on the far left, the little one, would be one that was born this year. Most likely would have had 2 or 3 siblings, but normally out of 3 or 4 little piglets, 1 or 2 make it to adulthood. So, but very, very good condition. All 3 of them are really healthy. That one should be around 6-7 months old now, maybe a little bit, 8 months at the most. Here's the young one. Why I say this is a young male, it's not from the tusks, because it is a young one. The tusks aren't very big, but look very carefully at the face. If you look from the eye down towards the nose, there's a second set of warts there. So the one wart is next to the eye, so if you sort of make a triangle from the ear to the eye to the cheek next to it, that's the one set, and then lower down you've got a second set of warts. And those are only the males that have those. Females have got a smooth face there. So young male, but too young to be a male that's following this female around for mating purposes. So it would be an offspring from last year. And then lastly, coming back to the female, she's doing something that warthogs are often seen doing. She's down on her knees like that. It's technically her wrists, but let's not get too technical about what is what in the design of the legs. Looks like she's down on her knees, getting to the short grass. Warthogs do that a lot when they're eating short bits of grass, or also when they're digging. They've got those tusks are very, very good for digging. And if you look quickly now, just with a silhouetted view of the mouth, there you can see the big tusk. But look, as she's chewing, you'll have to look very carefully. You can see there's a lower set of teeth as well, not as big as the top tusks. You'll notice they're quite sharp. If you look, you'll have to look very carefully. There you can see it in silhouette. That lower set is very, very sharp because it's actually grinding against the top tusk. So the top tusk is more like a blunt object, like a hammer, so to speak. So using it for digging out roots and for fighting with the males, for defense for the females. But the dangerous, the sharp instrument is that lower set of tusks. Much smaller, but they can use it if they're digging out a root and they can't break it. They can literally cut it with it. It's got an edge like a knife to it. Or when the males fight, that also plays a role. And then ultimately for defense, warthogs are not tackled lightly by any predator, even lion, even leopard. They have to be wary of warthogs. I know of lions and I know of leopards that have been killed by injuries caused by warthogs. So that's what that lower set of tusks are for. Well, there we can see the younger one, definitely a male, apart from the warts on the face that showed us earlier. Now at the same time, while we're sitting with these warthogs, there's also a nice herd of impala. As we arrived here, there was a little bit of activity. but they seem to be settling down a bit now. You can see this is a nice open area. Just pop around to this side. The impalas over there, they are starting to settle down a bit. You can see a few of them are standing in the shade now. And I don't see the male at the moment. He's off on the side. We'll have a look at him just now. But those guys getting into the shade, the other one's still grazing a little bit, but they are getting into the sort of the slower part of the morning, as we can see from a lot of the behavior. The wild dog's getting a bit more relaxed. A lot of animals now would have had their initial sort of morning activity, feeding, going down to drink perhaps, grooming, all that kind of thing, and now they'll be slowing down and just taking a bit easy. Impalas, like the buffalo from earlier, they are ruminants, so they'll need to spend some time ruminating or chewing the food from this morning again. But there'll be a bit of activity as well. There's the male. If we keep going, he's off to the side at the moment, but as I said a few minutes ago, as we arrived here, he was actually chasing the females around, keeping them in a herd. And we are getting into the rutting season now. For the rest of May and beginning June, into June as well, you will see this on various occasions on the drives. Lots of activity from the males. In this case, he's on his own. I don't see a bachelor herd close by. A bachelor herd would obviously refer to a group of male impala. And as we get more and more into the height of the rutting season, you would always have bachelor male impalas hanging around the periphery of these groups. And you'll have the dominant male, which in this case is the guy we're looking at. He would be chasing them away, and in doing so, he's showing them that he's fit and healthy, so don't mess with me. He's also showing the females that, look at me, I'm fit enough to chase. About the rutting season over the next couple of weeks, you get fascinating behavior and lots of sounds and noise and running around and fighting amongst the males. So it is something that is quite interesting to see. But more about rutting as we experience it over the next many weeks. For now, I'm going to say goodbye. It's been a lovely morning, great big surprise starting with the wild dogs. Lovely little intimate moment with the hyenas. From myself, Pieter Pretorius, thank you so much for joining us this morning. Brian on camera, always fantastic. And HT is going to say goodbye to you from the wild dogs. We'll see you this afternoon for the afternoon safari.
So folks, we've stuck with them for quite a long time this morning. They did go flat, and that's just one of those things. You have to be with them and be in there on their terms, and that's what we were one of the pack this morning, where they allowed us to be with them all that time. As you can probably hear some noise off here, one of the other vehicles is just leaving the location. But I just wanted to show you that he just popped his head up there. You might be able to come in nice and tight there, Andrew, just to see that beautiful boy just there. And we've been with these dogs since this morning. It's been an incredible time. We've been really lucky. We saw that hyena interaction. It was just fantastic. He's just gotten up too, Leo. And just moving off. I might just reposition. He's going to look for some more shade, I think. I think he's really looking for shade in there. I might just take a little back up here. We've got a couple of minutes left, so I have to make this quite quick, folks. Just how's my back there, mate? All good. Just going to try and get down here so we can see these dogs before we finish. They've decided to go for some more shade. Yeah, they're just lying down here. It's a little bit tricky. Just over there's one there, Danny. One just there. So what, folks, I'm just going to let you watch these dogs. They're going for more shade. It's getting really hot where they are. And I just want to say thank you for being with us this morning. You can hear that high-pitched squealing communication call that they're using there. and thank you for being with us on Wild Safari Live. If you've got any questions or you want to have any comments, please let us know. Tweet us at #Safari Live or questions@wildearth.tv. It's been an absolute pleasure to have you on board this morning. I really thank you for all the support and understanding this morning, because it was a bit of a frenetic start, and Andrew and I have had a beautiful morning. And basically it's a sign off from me. We can't really see the pups, but I can assure you they're there, and we'll try and pick up on them later on. Have a great day or night wherever you are, and we'll see you soon. Thanks so much. Bye now.